at the United Nations, that was Donald Trump, unfiltered. The opening act had all the qualities and policy depth of his campaign rallies, where he was busy polishing his own trophies and denigrating Joe Biden, completely unsuited for a formal address to the United Nations. The person acting as the US president in what should have been a strategic speech at the United Nations should have outlined a vision for American leadership. Instead, he delivered his greatest hits album of grievances prepared with lies, complaints about immigration, and even the UN's escalator, which in reality got stopped by his own video photographer. The orange idiot dismissed climate change as a hoax and took shots at American closest allies. Not a single diplomat in the room representing their own nation left without feeling either professionally insulted or utterly bewildered. The reputation of the United States has hit the pavement. No, let me correct that. Is a foot below the pavement.
Actually, Europe.
I'm really good at this stuff. Your countries are going to hell. I've been right about everything. And I'm telling you that if you don't get away from the green energy scam, your country is going to fail. And if you don't stop people that you've never seen before, that you have nothing in common with, your country is going to fail. It's embarrassing.
It was a total superpower faceplant, a self-inflicted demise, and the individual chosen to lead the country just sauntered into the United Nations and delivered what might be the most catastrophic speech in the modern era. The orange idiot is seemingly incapable of just being a statesman and addressing the actual, global crisis. Instead, he must indulge in a symphony of grievances, toot his own horn, and generally behave like the colossal jerk we come to expect. His remarkably consistency in his ability to let everyone down is surprising.
Tonight.
Good morning, Mr. President.
It was Donald Trump's entrance to the United Nations
What is the message? What is the message?
that led off his laundry list of grievances.
These are the two things I got from the United Nations, a bad escalator and a bad teleprompter.
But Trump fellow world leaders.
Trump was right about everything. And I don't say that in a braggadocious way, but it's true.
A rambling and often incoherent president, calling climate change a con, hinting at killing illegal immigrants, and said Russia's war in Ukraine should have been easy to end, blaming the UN for not helping.
All they seem to do is write a really strongly worded letter and then never follow that letter up. It's empty words, and empty words don't solve war.
The scorned...
Now, isn't that interesting? He complains no one did anything to end his buddy's Putin's war on Ukraine. That statement is so ridiculous I don't even dignify it with a response. But what I will say is that it was Trump who stopped sending support to Ukraine, not the European allies. And secondly, Trump said he would stop the war in 24 hours. Well, he has in power, unfortunately, for 8.5 months now. The war is still going. And what has the fascist gangster done? He's giving his buddy Putin ultimatums. And when, as to expect, Putin let the ultimatums run out, well, then Trump just gives him another one. And another one. That's how you do it when you are completely incompetent. So there you have it, the master show-off. He's a wizard of the nonsense, and his grand strategy is to inform the entire UN Assembly that their homelands are basically headed for the dumpster. Can you imagine the embarrassment of those professionals who take the thoughtful work of governance seriously? To show up at the UN only to have this clown waltz in and make a complete spectacle of the event. I find it impossible to believe that the seasoned policy experts and actual leaders at the UN aren't quietly asking themselves, what in the world is wrong with American voters? How could they have been so stupid? He told them exactly what he would do, who he would be if elected. And he did it anyways. You did it twice. How can our allies have any faith left in American electorate? America used to be a relative good name. It stood for something. Now that reputation is tanking. It's over. But the damage is compounded because you did this to yourself twice. 2 times. Wrap your head around that. Can you? If I would make foreign policy decisions in Europe or Asia, I would definitely think right now, well, the Americans are clearly unreliable. The orange fascist gangster just can't talk about any geopolitical issues, something with substance. Instead, he's got this bizarre single-minded obsession with windmills. It's one of about a handful topics in his limited repertoire, and naturally he ends up making a fool of himself, especially considering there are actual scientists in those other countries that were listening. Well, not in the US anymore. You showed them the door. But why bother with science, right? According to Diplomat, oil and gas are great resources, and coal too. Nothing burns better and also reliably ruins the environment too. Man, what is wrong with that guy? The Stone Age did not stop because we ran out of stones. We stopped relying on horse and buggy because we got a better option. And there is the orange idiot talking at the United Nations, making a case for typewriters against computers. That's the precise level of technological cluelessness we're dealing with here. And all those corporations that bent the knee to him are being spectacularly nearsighted. Yes, there can't be no denial. Trump is a fascist. He's an authoritarian of the worst kind. Among other things, you can rely on one thing. Fascism does never last forever. American corporations are so obsessed with a short-term tax break or regulatory favors, this whole crony capitalism game, that they are willing to dismantle the very democracy that allowed them to thrive. It's insane. It's today's America. And why is the orange idiot so stuck on wind? It's not rocket science. He is the combustible energies bitch. And they are willing to pay for his service. But because of it, the US is falling behind. The American brand is in the toilet. And everything it stands for, like the dollar, its industries and legal system, is seen as dirty. The demise of a superpower. That's what we are looking at. The orange fascist gangster has corrupted almost the entire American legal system, including the Supreme Court. But if there is no honest legal system, an individual, an organization or corporation can rely on, everyone is on its own and has no recourse against anything. Where can a university turn to if the fascist gangster tries to blackmail the institution to change its curriculum? Nowhere. It is bent to the dictator's will, or to close the door. If the courts are compromised and the Supreme Court is already chipping away on its own integrity, investors will run for the hills. The The stock market is already getting jittery, and it's going to get worse. That is one of the reasons why the big pretender does not make real deals. It's all fake. No investor with a clear mind would invest in the US right now. And the ones that are still here, they are already packing the bags too. The car industry is not coming back. No industry is coming back. It's all a lie. It is Trump, after all. Foreign investors are pulling out. Of course they do. I totally get it. I totally get why foreign countries, allies or not, being hesitant to deal with the US, because the orange idiot leading the US disaster administration is an international embarrassment, a rambling, incoherent performance from the president calling climate change a con, making dark hints and claiming Russia war should have been easy stopped. It was mortifying. For nearly an hour, world leaders had to sit there and endure being lectured by Trump. And the assembled prime ministers, presidents, and dignitaries just sat there in silence. Canada wasn't even mentioned, even though our prime minister was in attendance. Trump just told everyone exactly what he thought about them. Mark Carney stayed for the entire 57 painful minutes before finally turning to constructive work. He talked about the estimated 19,000 Ukrainian children who have been stolen by Trump's buddy Putin, a crime so low it has sparked international arrest warrants. Canada is leading efforts that have successfully brought 1,300 children back home, with hundreds more located. It's one of the most heinous crimes imaginable to replace a childhood with the brutality of war, committed by Donald Trump's buddy.
Constructive matter.
Thousands of children have been abducted by Russia. Russia has repeatedly targeted the most vulnerable groups of children, including orphans, children with disabilities, children from poor families.
The estimated total, 19,000 stolen Ukrainian children, leading to international criminal court warrants on Russian officials. Canada co-chairs a group that helped return 1,300 kids so far, with an additional 339 others identified.
And one of the lowest crimes imaginable is to replace childhood with war and its cruelty.
The cruelty of Putin and the incompetence of the orange idiot in the House of Horrors never fails to surprise me. While the orange idiot is busy making a mockery of America and its allies, faking deals that have never existed, and it's lying about absolutely everything, Mark Carney has done amazing things since taking office, like the Build Canada initiative, which is a national infrastructure program to modernize transportation, expand rural broadband, and investing in green public transit. He also launched the Clean Growth Fund to support startups developing low-carbon technologies and the urgently needed affordable housing accelerator, which speeds construction of energy-efficient homes in major cities. Internationally, Carney has been busy in advancing Canada's partnerships. He secured a clean energy partnership with Mexico and forged agreements with Germany and France on sustainable finance standards and joint research in carbon capture. With Germany, he also negotiated on LNG, critical minerals, and discussions over the purchase of 12 submarines. Such trade facilitation agreements with Europe aim to expand Canadian exports of environmentally responsible products. And at the UN summit this September, Carney reached out to China on climate finance, green supply chains, and a resolution of the EV tariff canola dispute.
Carney's final meeting with China's second most powerful politician, their premier. The first time since 2018 that a Canadian prime minister had a formal sit-down with senior Chinese leadership, with additional conversations set to come.
I will expect at the appropriate time to be meeting with President Xi Jinping, but continuing this dialogue with the premier.
The prime minister's meeting with the Chinese, an opportunity to try and soften relations that have been strained for nearly a decade, a potential counterbalance to an unreliable Donald Trump, who despite...
His broader strategy is to strengthening Canadian-European trade and security ties. Consciously improving relationship with China could enhance Canada's diplomatic influence in the Asian-Pacific region. Carney's combination of investment here at home and international outreach positions Canada as a future leader in sustainable development, opening pathways for new trade deals and collaborative climate initiatives. Now, get yourself a drink, sit in the warm September sun, and think about that for a minute. Doesn't Canada's future look so much brighter than just 3 months ago? Please let me know in the comments below how you feel about where the US is going. We know where Mark Carney is going. He will become the next world leader, no doubt, in my mind. For more commentaries on real news, facts and viewpoint, to counterbalance the demagogic of the right-wing media, please like and subscribe. It goes a long way to help the channel. Till next time, I'm Wilfried Lemkuller from Europe Curious.
You by our side, and we spent so many nights thinking how you did us wrong. Now we've banded all together. Your tariff made us strong, and so you know you're not so great. There's not a snowball's chance in hell will be your 51st state. We really need our resources for more than we need you, so now just go. Walk out the door. We do not need you. You're not welcome anymore. Weren't you the one who instigated these trade fights? You'll soon grow to regret it when we turn off your lights. We're as long as we can think and what we know we'll stay alive. We have all we really need. We can live without your greed. We will survive. We will survive. There's been a change. It's time anew. We're not that fledgling little country stealing all of you. We are now a nation proud that is happy to be free. You didn't realize you gave us our own identity, so now just go. We will survive. As long as we can think and work, we know we'll stay alive. Yeah, but all we really need, we can live without your greed. We will survive. We will survive. We will survive.
51st state, my fucking ass. Go on, Canada.